it is.
Well, there it is. Today, it's Infi playing as the teal human at the top of Turtle Rock, and at the bottom right of Turtle Rock is a Lucifer. So Infi, an infamous human, and Lucifer, a illustrious undead. Undisguisable undead? What the hell begins with you, honestly? What sort of title can I give him? Undescribable undead. There you go! That works, doesn't it? And that's exactly what's happening right now. But I'm going to continue to focus on the game. No more distractions with whatever's going on in my head. Must take that stuff out. I must try to take that stuff out, honestly. The doctor keeps telling me, but it doesn't get through. Anyway, we've got a human, as we can see. Nothing too amazing to pick up on, other than the effect that Lucifer is going fiends by the looks of it. So probably just going to get one ghoul out of that crypt, and then he's going to move his way onto fiends. Almost definitely Death Knight. I'll be really surprised to see anything that isn't a Death Knight, especially if you're going fiends, because the support that the Death Knight brings just allows the fiends to be so damn powerful. The fact that they can have a coil to back them up whenever they get in trouble, and they're actually able to move fast because of the unholy aura, which gives them a greater movement speed. There's no reason not to go Death Knight. And of course we've got Archmage for Infi, so that makes sense. Archmage is a very good pick, but humans can differ if they want to. But it does make sense to go Archmage because he pretty much supports pretty much anything else you're going to build with the humans, which is pretty much Arcane Sanctums. You're going to expect those. Death Knight, you know it. And of course our first Fiend is out, ready to have a little look and see what's going on. Infi's already scouted his nearest position. He's moving out with his Archmage with 4 militia to creep this spot over here. He's not opting for the orange spot nearby. Probably going to do that afterwards, I imagine. Sometimes human players, I try to work this out myself when I've been watching human replays, is what goes through their mind. Why do they not always play the same? Why do some players go for this orange camp whilst others will go for the green spots and then on either side? It makes sense for him to do this side first because the undeads use the Death Knight to harass, but no, he cancelled it and he's gone for a Fire Lord. So very interesting choice. I certainly wasn't going to predict that one, but yes, you can see that Lucifer's spotted that this creep camp has been crept and logically has realized that his opponent is actually over here and not over here, because players get to such a point where they can pretty much know where each other are across the map without having to use map hack. So Infi's actually dropping back here to his base after clearing both the green camps. Arcane Tower up just in time to help repel versus the Fire Lord's harass. Fire Lord moving in here to take away the creep camp from Infi, but Infi's ignoring this fact that the Fire Lord is nearby his base and possibly creeping his stuff and going for the one over here. Because essentially that is another reason for human... Oh, Circlet of Nobility being picked up. Let's just see what item drops for Infi as well, and then I'll get back to it. I'm starting to understand as I'm commentating this now already. Ring of Protection +2. The Archmage doesn't even want to pick it up straight away. He's like, And the Lava Spawn is now splitting. That's going to be nice for Lucifer, allowing him to creep a little bit further, give him a bit more power, but that timer does go quickly. Now what I was going to say is undead. Lucifer is taken here, but Death Knight will often try to spot where the human enemies are and then harass them relentlessly with Death Coil and just Death Knight harass, essentially. So if you don't creep where the Death Knight's heading, then that's a good chance that you'll be able to have a Death Knight free experience. So that's why Infi was going to areas away from his opponent and away from his main base. That way he's going to avoid the Death Knight for as long as possible. But it was a Fire Lord. Interesting choice. Lucifer taking a slightly harder creep camp here, but he's just able to do it with the correct amount of micro. He can definitely clear this, which gives him the Sentry Ward, which is going to be very handy for him later on in the game. Rune Braces being picked up by the Archmage. A very good item versus undead, but that's normally if they have a Death Knight, and they don't. So Rune Braces reduces the amount of damage you take from spells, which is of course very powerful against undead heroes because they love to just throw nukes at people, as in cast Coil and Nova repeatedly. So Infi's not deciding to creep and, well, not deciding to expand here, which I might have suspected that he may do because it is kind of common for humans to expand versus undead, but I guess it depends on the map as well. And Turtle Rock, this would normally be a creep, an expansion spot here as well, but that would be a good one because it's pretty far away. But then if it gets harassed hard by destroyers, Infi's going to have to consistently take a long-ish trip back and forth, and it could get ugly, and the destroyers have access across the trees. Footman here for Infi scouting, just trying to keep a track on where his opponent may be. Lucifer's now pulling back with his fiends that are quite injured. Firelord can't heal up because undead don't have that ability, not with their shop. We've got Rod of Necromancy though, so that will give him a bit more power to keep on creeping, and hopefully those skeletons can do the tanking. Panda here, going to be soaking up the experience from this creep camp, whilst the Archmage is outside of the loop, stepping back, taking a clarity pot, just letting the Panda do his thing, because a Panda is a very powerful hero versus undead, especially for human, and he doesn't want that item. Lucifer destroying the item, rather than even taking the risk of coming back, picking it up, selling it and coming back for it, just in case his opponent just comes across it, playing it ultra safe by the looks of it, although Infi certainly isn't. He might be able to do this creep camp, he probably can, but I'd be impressed if he can do it without losing any footmen, because they don't do very well versus this, although defend will help them, but Shockwave does not care about defend, and I'm sure that footman actually survives. Was that a scroller here? No, I see. That was the Ogre Magi, and when he drops, or dies, he drops a Rune of Healing, which can be used, and it grants you about 500 health or something like that, quite a decent chunk of health. Well, 350, 400, something like that. A decent chunk of health for all of those footmen. And he used it up early. Sometimes players will try to survive as long as they can against this creep camp without losing anything, kill everything, and then use it so they can get maximum efficiency. Lucifer dropping his fiends here, acting as part of a scout as well as possibly a sneak surprise. There's just no way that Infi knows about this unless that sentry ward can see. I really don't think it can. No.
Job's done.
Well, it can't see invisible units. Or can it? I'm starting to get confused. Either way, he does not spot those fiends, and Lucifer knows something is coming to his base. Just in time that slaughterhouse finishes, which is very handy because that would have taken a lot of damage if it was still building. Firelord in a pretty good position here, but not great. He is going to get trapped. There we go. He's allowed himself to get trapped, but he is using his Staff of Teleport to escape. He just needed to give himself a bit more space at the back so he could back off quite comfortably. Yeah, he could definitely back off quite comfortably there. Statues coming out here, throwing down heals. Panda, Breath of Fire on the Fiends. 2 Fiends going into burrow mode. That's going to keep them alive. Footman trying to get in on these Acolytes. Does look the Firelord is getting a little bit of focus from the Archmage, possibly the Panda soon. But the statue is now taking a lot of that damage as well. Footman's still going quite heavy. 1 Acolyte trapped. Other Acolytes trying to escape to the back of the undead base. Black Citadel has now been researched, and Infi is teleporting out, getting the kill on the statue, and the Panda just about survives. Not bad for a harass. I don't think Infi did too bad there. Came out okay, but then again so did Lucifer. He held his own, only lost a few Acolytes, and his Black Citadel finished in time to start producing some more by the time Infi backed off out of his base. So we can pretty much expect destroyers really soon. That's a very typical thing for undead to create versus humans, but Firelord isn't, at least not from my experience. I don't remember seeing Firelord very often versus human players, but I'll be interested to see how it works out. Infi is now going for the red creep camp at the top here as well. He doesn't care about that footman, but he's got spellbreakers that are going to be bolstering up his army. Upgrading to spellbreakers. What are the items that we've got so far? Let's keep a track. So we've got Archmage on level 3, Panda on level 3, and the Archmage is sporting Claws of Attack plus 12. Pretty impressive, and a good pickup because it means that your enemy doesn't get it, and you certainly don't want a Lich with it. And there is no second hero so far for Lucifer. Really weird build so far. Anyway, Scroll of Healing, Ring of Protection +2, Panda's sporting a Prep to Vitality, 2 Gauntlets of Strength +3, which is very good for him. Ancient Django of Endurance and Booster Speed and Invulnerability pots. So Infi has got some very powerful items indeed amongst his heroes. Lucifer now stepping towards Infi's base. He's going straight for it. He's devouring or absorbing all of the magic and mana that he can out of these statues before converting them into destroyers. And he's coming in here for a long, strong attack by the looks of it. He's going to have the power, but Infi is getting ready for this. He's got more guard towers coming at the back, but they still got quite a while to go. I wonder if these destroyers are going to go for those guard towers, especially if they go for the middle. Look at the splash damage. They hurt those towers big time. Yep, he's going to have to cancel those towers, and 2 workshops, one of them not going to be able to go up here, is going to be produced by Infi as some sort of counter for these destroyers. Expect to see gyrocopters later on if we can get to that stage. 3 destroyers and 4 fiends wreaking havoc alongside a Firelord. Meanwhile, Infi is inside of Lucifer's base, and he's already done half the damage, or half the health's worth of damage to that Black Citadel, but he is forcing the TP back from Lucifer, who's now teleported back straight into the middle of Infi's army, and he's going to go heavy on that Panda in a moment. No, he's not. He's switching all over the place. He's devouring the magic of those water elementals, giving these destroyers a lot more magic and mana to play with, which therefore increases the amount of damage that they do. Panda is so fast though, he can pretty much sprint out of this base. Very good for him. Spellbreakers escaping, not in too much trouble. Archmage now level 4, so both the Archmage and Panda are level 4. Meanwhile, the Firelord is level 5.5, so he's getting there. I wonder if he'd even pick up Volcano though if he got level 6. It's bizarre, it really is strange to see a Firelord for undead, and we're going to see how it plays out. Meanwhile, we got a Panda who has dropped off to the shop and picked himself up an invisibility pot, which I do see players give their pandas quite often. Looks like lava spawns are returning to undead base. Suspicious that a panda might be here, but no, it's to defend versus an archmage that's getting a little bit too frisky and getting a bit screwed over by Fiend Block. Very nicely played there by Lucifer, making the most of that Nerubian, well, the cold tower effect. Panda is in the middle here though, and he's just about to blow up in a moment. He's going to go for it any second now. Archmage has to escape. What is he up to? Meanwhile, at the base, we can see Lucifer is harassing up here once again on the peasants. Panda is actually using the Staff of Teleport back. He did do a Breath of Fire. You can see the amount of damage the Acolytes took. And he's used his Staff of Teleport to get to his Archmage, heal up alongside his army, but he's not going to teleport back to base to deal with this harass at the moment. And Firelord is coming in here, and this is going to be a decent chunk of experience. We're going to see a level 6 Firelord soon. Look at him soak up all of that experience, because remember, he is tier 3. He's got a Black Citadel and only 1 hero. That means that if you've only got 1 hero and you've got a tier 3 main castle, then you're going to get 30% bonus experience for all kills. And at tier 2 you get 15%. So yes, a level 6 Firelord, that experience is going to go up pretty quickly. He's actually quite beastly because this Firelord has Orb of Corruption, so he's going to be doing quite a bit of damage. He's an agility hero as well, so he attacks pretty damn quickly. So you can see those Spellbreakers, while slowed, are no match. They will be picked off pretty damn easily. Destroyers coming in here for a scout. The rest of some of Lucifer's army, rather, just looking out, trying to see if Infi has an expansion, which I reckon Infi probably wished he did take an expansion earlier on. I can't say, I'm not an expert, but I would imagine that now would be a good time for an expansion to afford lots of rifles and gyros, because he's broke pretty much. He's got almost no cash, and he's barely got any peasants mining resources. Meanwhile, Lucifer's picked himself up a Dart Ranger and is now going to soak up the experience from this level 7 turtle. Go, go, go. Oh, look at that. Almost all the way to level 2 straight off. That's a good start for the Dart Ranger. A Potion of Greater Healing could be great for either hero. Probably more so for the Firelord. Because he's so powerful, you do not want to lose that Firelord. He is a pretty key component of your army. Looks like Infi's also scouting out here as well, just seeing for any potential expansions. Neither of the players have an expansion. Lucifer's slightly more healthy. Despite his base doesn't look that good, I would say he's in better shape than Infi right now, who is suffering from a lava spawn just sitting here doing damage over time to those peasants. And it's going to kill him, and he might even split. I'm going to have to come back and check and see if he does split, because if he splits, it's just going to completely and utterly deny any sort of experience, or rather any resources for Infi. 2 statues taking a breath of fire there. Destroyers soaking up mana. You can see they're going to be doing some extra damage. Look at the damage that's coming out here from these destroyers. Nice splash damage. More fiends coming in round from the side. That looks like Infi's trying to retreat here. We can see that this lava spawn did not split. Because Lucifer's slightly busy at the moment, he's not going to be paying too much attention, but he could actually bring it down, attack that Spellbreaker. Now he is, but it's probably going to be too late for that lava spawn. Oh, he's going to get the split. Look at that. Well played, Lucifer, paying attention all around the map. And now he's got 2 lava spawns. They're not going to last too long, but they're going to be enough to bring down that Spellbreaker. So another good job there from Lucifer. Very observant. Meanwhile, he's hunting down Infi, who is just being pushed back, but to where? He can't even return to his base. Doesn't look like he's got a scroller teleport, and he's definitely suffering here, but a nice breath of fire there, doing a good chunk of damage, but unfortunately not picking off any units. There was a nice little soul burn there from the Fire Lord that Lucifer used on the Paladin of Infi to stop him from healing his rifle that got picked off. The Paladin has been sent back to heal up, but I don't think he's going to be able to defend versus this very easily, especially since he's only level 1. Come on, Paladin, what are you going to do? Does look like Lucifer's trying to get a bit of a block here with the Dark Ranger, trying his best to reduce that Paladin's ability to escape from his own base, and he might even be able to get a kill just from blocking alone. Look at this. He's just not going to quite get it, but he is going to be able to keep up with him because the Paladin is slow. And it won't be long until he dies. Meanwhile, Infi is just running around the map aimlessly, looking for something to do. Did look like he was going to try to throw down some harass. Clearly not that successful. The Fire Lord is here to chase him down. This is a level 6 Fire Lord, and he's not very easily contested because Infi just hasn't got that much going for him. If he had like Sorks, which he's not going to have because of Destroyers, he could at least do something to that Fire Lord because he could slow him down and then do some decent damage to him. Fire Lord is pretty pathetic when he's got a slow cast on him. But he can't afford to get Sorks because of these Destroyers' existence, so he's just having a hard time. Looks like he's trying to creep, get any gold he can. He knows he can't defend his base, and we do see Volcano here from Lucifer chatting out fire in the hole. I like it. Paladin coming out here. Silence being cast on him. Not that it's going to do much. Just for fun, I guess. At this point in the game, Lucifer is starting to rub it in a little bit. I'm not sure if there's any sort of history between these two players, whether they hate each other or anything like that. Maybe it's just a bit of fun. Oh, 3 necropolises, mana necropolises. Lucifer really is just starting to take the piss now. So that's what's making me wonder whether there is a bit of a bad blood between these two. Does look like Lucifer's going to... No, he's going to cancel his teleport. So he used Star for teleport, then cancelled it. And Infi trying to bring down these necropolises in a desperate attempt to look like he actually has some sort of control in this game. But at the moment, I've got to say, it doesn't look good for you, Infi. Lucifer now using Scroller Teleport to try to finally bring down what remains of Infi's army. Got a nice silence there. You can see the Panda was just about ready to throw down a Breath of Fire. And now he can. Invulnerability Pot denies the ability of silence. And it looks like that Destroyer might get picked up and not quite. Oh, the Archmage coming in here. Not quite going to bring down the Destroyer. Yeah, come on, get that Destroyer. There we go. Notched himself up to level 5. Maybe he can come back, eh? Probably not. And look at the Fire Lord. Puts his hands on his hips. His work here is done. Satisfied with his victory. Because it's only a matter of time now. Infi running back, picking up a Scroller Healing and an Invulnerability Pot. Not going to be enough though to survive. It's just too much running around the map. And where to? That's interesting. And that was also interesting what we just witnessed there. Although I was aware of this. Number one, Staff of Sanctuary used on the Paladin, if there is no main, it actually goes back to some other building. I thought there still had to be a main to use it, but apparently it just goes to any building. I wasn't too sure about that before, but what I was sure about is that you can cancel the effect of Staff of Sanctuary, which heals up the target, be it a hero or unit, if you use Dispel Magic or Devour, which the Destroyers just did. And that gives them a little bit more mana, and it also reduces the amount of healing that the Paladin can take, although he was almost fully healed up. There's just a lot of running around now by the looks of it. Destroyers just trying to pick off the remaining anti-air units from Infi, and all Infi has is a Spellbreaker and his heroes. Oh, Breath of Fire is definitely going to get at least one Fiend kill there, so that's something. Well done there, Infi. But Lucifer relentlessly hunting Infi down, and there is the G, not even a GG, just a G. Well played, but Lucifer had great control there and carried through, and that was a level 6 Firelord. Very unconventional, but I like it. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to support me, you can always thumbs up the video, give it a like, and subscribe if you want to see more.